Program moving in 3, 2, 1. Looks like TikTok's a little bit slow. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. All right, let's get the program moving. As you can see, the video is indeed titled, "Is Trump Being Victimized?" It is as flat out as simple as that. Is President Trump being victimized? Many would suggest he is the victim of a two-tier justice system. Some would suggest that he is being victimized by the Department of Justice at the behest of President Biden. Cheeky chops on YouTube. Back to the fucking box. Appreciate you always tuned in. Cheeky chops, you're one of the earlier videos. Definitely thank you for your participation. Is President Trump being victimized by the criminal justice system, as many would suggest? Why are we asking that? Just this week, after Friday's always the big news day in terms of court cases, in regards to how court cases get adjourned. Well, last Friday, we were talking about Trump being ordered to pay $335 million. Well, President Trump this week asked that he get a month, 30 days, just 30 days of leeway before they try to start enforcing the collection of this whopping sum. After all, he's not sitting around with $333 million in his fucking back pocket. So he asked if he could get 30 days of leeway before they began enforcement. Letitia James, believe it or not, already has submitted the plans on how they're going to start collecting his money. Letitia James is literally licking her chops, ready to collect already. Well, the judge rejected Trump's request. Now, this came from his legal team, obviously. Wanted to, wanted a month. Give me a month to make a decision on what to do because you're coming after me for a huge sum. The judge refused to give Trump 30 days. So we're asking, is President Trump being victimized by the system? Is this just personal at this point? $335 million. Is he supposed to have it sitting around in his back pocket? What say you? And the judge did say no. I see that coming from Transporter. Yeah, the judge rejected his request for a 30-day leeway. Now, in regards to asking, is Trump being victimized by the justice system, we have a side question. Sometimes we do have a couple of topics, more than one topic on a single show. Today is that day. Simple question, because there's a hell of a lot of females suggesting that women's rights are being rolled back under the Trump administration or under the Republican Party in general. Now, I get folks will say, no, it's states' rights. You're not losing any rights, whatever the case may be. We can debate that. But the question we're asking is, if women are losing so many damn rights, if there's such a ploy against women by the Republican Party, why are there so many females voting towards the right? Why are there so many females supporting Trump? Are the Republicans really taking away women's rights, or is this something the liberals are simply making up? Those are the topics we're going to discuss today. You know how the program is ran. Happy Friday to all of you folks. Hopefully you have a wonderful weekend. Program is indeed MAGA friendly. It is today, it was yesterday, and it will always remain that way. MAGA are always my preferred guests. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome as well. Appreciate you folks that are tuned in already. Tap the screen. My TikTok viewers are already near 500. Get your boy likes up. Helps out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA. Now, we run an uncensored program. So the topics are always, you're going to get left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with QAnon. We don't believe in censoring or blocking anyone. So flat out, that is how the show is ran, in an uncensored format. It's all about free speech. Going straight to the comments, if you think he can't afford this, you must have banged your head on the window in the short bus to ride to school. Craig Beats, yikes, suggesting that Trump can easily afford the $335 million to Letitia James and the $88.5 million to E. Jean Carroll. $5 million he lost, then another $83.3 million. So E. Jean Carroll gets $88.5. Letitia James, $335 million. Now, Trump asked for a month to enforce. Trump asked for a month leeway before Letitia James' case can be enforced. Guess how much interest Trump pays every single month until that money is collected? $2.6 million. Every month, that $335 million is not paid. $2.6 million. So if Trump files an appeal and he's fighting it, and God forbid he loses the appeal, $2.6 million for every single month the fight was going on. Yikes. Going to the box right off the bat. Appreciate you folks that are tuned in. You know how the program works. We'll start it right out with Black Wing Zero for life. Good afternoon, Black Wing.
What's up with them ugly ass Kmart damn shoes sold for $20 damn, thinking that's going to get the black vote? Them ugly ass plain ass shoe store shoes, just because they got his signature on them. Brother, let me say this. As a person of the black delegation, I would like to speak out. If any black person of the black delegation, including me, Mr. Hansenberg, liberal, wore them shoes to a black cookout, it will be a roast session to his grave.
So I'm assuming you saw the Fox News segment that's been floating all around where the guest actually suggested that black people are going to support Trump because they like tennis shoes.
Because of that damn shoe. Here's the thing. First of all, here's one thing though. Trump, there's only 3 brands of shoes that black people wear. You're not one of them. 3. That'll be Nike, Timberland, and Converse.
We don't wear Adidas or Reebok? I mean, come on now.
We used to wear, here's the thing, we used to wear them, but I'm going like this. The 3 top brands is Nike, Converse, and Timberland.
All right, fair enough.
Especially in the East Coast.
Fair enough. So you don't see the black community supporting Trump this go round?
Here's the problem. Here's the problem I'm having with basically is he went up to 13%. Most of our damn community is female, are declaring womanhood. You do realize the reason that you lost the last election is because of black women?
Well, let me ask that question. Because a lot of women are suggesting Trump is rolling back women's rights. Why are there so many female Republicans if they're allegedly losing rights under the Republican administration?
Then here's the thing. First of all, when it comes down to this, we don't have a choice. We choose between two white rich males. That's what we're choosing from. Both old, both from well-established families.
You got Nikki Haley. You still have Nikki Haley.
And here's the problem. Trump won't debate her. He will go on the campaign trail putting them ugly ass sneakers. Where did you get gold damn plastic damn laces from? But I want to know that shit. You know how all we gotta do is go to in the nearest Chinatown, look for basically a dude that with one eye patch and make them damn counterfeit damn shoes. Them shoes are not made in America. Them shoes are made in Taiwan out of a sweatshop.
Okay, but you know at the end of the day, the purpose is not to sell you a quality product. The purpose is to help Trump with this liberal witch hunt, all of these court cases. Do you see him being victimized by the justice system?
He's down $800 million. He's down $800 million.
Is that excessive though, Black Wing? $800 million, is that excessive?
One is for the just the state of New York.
Black Wing.
He owes $450 million to just the state of New York. $86 million to E. Jennings. I'm going like this. He's going to be broke. The only saving grace that man has if he wins another term. He's going to jail.
You think he's going to... Wait a minute. You don't think we're going to lock up a former president? There's no way you think that, right?
He's going to be on house arrest. That's what he's going to be.
Let me ask it to you this way. Hold on. Let me ask you this.
Mind you, there are Republicans. Those 3 states that kicked him out, they weren't Democrats that kicked him out. They were Republicans that kicked him out.
So...
Their state.
Let me ask you this now. Hold on, Black Wing. The passion is coming through. I get it. But Nikki Haley has already suggested if she wins the nation's highest office, she would pardon Trump. Is there any chance that if Biden is reelected, he may offer Trump a pardon?
Here's the problem, basically. There's a problem with this. If they do pardon Trump, all he gonna do is run again because he's facing other things. Like he's probably gonna lose his business. He's probably gonna lose the one business he inherited.
But I got viewers. Hang on a second.
Let's keep it 100. I want Trump supporters to realize this. This silver spoon bastard is not a damn self-made billionaire. This man got an inheritance from his punk ass damn triple damn K daddy and got his business once he died.
Now, on YouTube, Craig says this guy has the money. You're talking about Trump going broke. I got folks that suggest Trump could easily afford this.
He filed for bankruptcy 7 times. Every business that he ever had in his life with his name on it has failed, including the ugly ass damn Payless shoe store, damn 99-cent shoelace shoes that you can get from Ling Ling over down in Chinatown on the corner of 4th and Main.
Okay. So you obviously are no fan of his shoes. By the way, Trump has a GoFundMe.
I'm not a fan of his hats. I'm not a fan of him. I'm not a fan of that damn alien of the toupee that he got on his head. Hey, you talking about basically, he was talking about damn deporting illegal immigrants. How about the one that's on your head? Ain't that thing for the plentiful flu here? That thing moves on its own in a cold space. It is an alien. Nobody can tell me fucking different.
All right. Last question. I do got to move it on. But folks are suggesting that Trump did more for blacks than anyone else. Why are you speaking so negatively of him?
Let me put it in perspective. One, the HBCU funding. The HBCU funding did not come to the HBCUs. And how basically 161 well-known HBCUs are supposed to split up 540 million? That's $2 million apiece.
He's doing
shit.
Black Wing. He has done better. Trump has done better with African Americans.
Here's another one, sir. How did the Prison Reform Act become the Black Bill?
Because there is more of us in. Wait, I'll answer that. I will answer that. The reason the prison reform became the Black Bill is because there were so many laws in our past, in most of our lifetime, wait a minute, hold on, such as Black Wing, such as Biden's crime bill. I got to play devil's advocate. Biden's crime bill put a lot of us in jail. Trump got a lot of us out. That's what folks are saying.
Here's what Trump should have did. Legalize 420. You know how many people basically went in jail for the flat time law in 1987?
All right.
That's way Trump, basically Biden and Trump. That was under Reagan.
All right.
So I'm going like this. Y'all worried about the 94 crime bill. I'm going like this, though. The 1987 damn flat time rape bill, the one that gave three strikes to every black person to serve a life sentence for just stealing a pizza, you might want to basically recheck that shit. Because that's just an upgrade from that bill to that bill.
All right.
And mind you, in a prison, they found 215 bodies that families have to buy back.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I do got to move it on, Black Wing.
The prison system ain't nothing more than this Motel 6 with bars on it.
Damn. All right, gotta go. Appreciate you coming through. Black Wing 0, everyone. Wow. Now, his passion, some might suggest emotion, is palpable. It is palpable. And there's a lot of folks that feel, in the comments, a lot of folks actually agree with him. But at the same time, there's a hell of a lot of folks that disagree with him as well. But the way I always say, we go left of Bernie Sanders to him having dinner with QAnon. We don't censor folks. So understand, you're going to hear opinions that you may think are way out of there, or you may think is a spot-on home run. That is how the show is ran. So understand that. Looking in the comments, Queen B says, I love him. Let me hold up my little homemade cue card so I can read these names. Yeah, Queen B says, I love him. Trump brought us back to the 60s. Really? You think Trump rolled back civil rights, women's rights to the 1960s? Really? And that's what we're going to be asking. I'll go right back to the box. But if Trump is rolling back women's rights so much, why are there so many females voting for Trump? Particularly with white women, he's probably going to outdo President Biden again. So is the notion that Trump is rolling back women's rights, is that actually accurate? In the comments, and we'll keep it moving, but going in the comments, I can't tell you how much this helps me Man, recently I've been beating my wife. Your content really helps me not feel as bad. Big, I don't see what the name, Big Ed, I know that's gotta be sarcastic. You've been beating your wife, and my program has helped calm you down. Tell your wife I said she welcome. And by the way, give her my number. It might be to help out. All right, looking in the comments. How much were you paid to advocate for Trump? Wow. He doesn't care about you or me. Paid advertisement. I don't think I'm advocating for Trump. I can tell you that right off the bat, but I do appreciate your support. Obviously, you are a new viewer to the program. Because if you follow the program, if you look at the name of the program, you'd probably rethink the statement. But going back to the box, we'll keep it moving with Marie KS. Appreciate you tuning in once again, Marie. Talking about the 335 million. Is the system victimizing the former president? Do you see Trump being victimized at all?
Hey, handsome. I don't think so. So I cannot. Maybe the penalty is excessive, but I don't know what the precedence is. I don't know what happened. How other people who committed the same crimes were fined, but if he did something wrong, how can you be victimized when you've committed a crime? You could say the punishment is excessive, but you did the crime.
Well, if I steal a bag of potato chips and you chop my hand off, I'm being victimized. The system is too excessive. That's what we're talking about. Such as a woman, if the system says abortion is illegal and a woman gets a life sentence for terminating her own child, folks are going to say that's excessive. She's being victimized. That's what folks are saying about Trump.
But what is a victim? I commit a crime. Like, you steal the bag of chips, the person you stole it from is the victim. You're the criminal. Now, we can say punishment is excessive, yes, but you're not a victim. You did it,
So you do agree that the fine that's been bestowed upon President Trump is excessive?
Well, it does seem excessive, but again, I cannot say. I'm not a legal expert. None of us are, unless we know what people in the past who have done similar crimes, such as what he's done, how were they punished? We can't say whether it's excessive or not, but it does seem like a lot.
Right. So in regards to my second question, I'll roll that one by you. Why are there so many females simultaneously saying Trump is rolling back women's rights while voting for Trump himself? He has a lot of female support. How do you explain that?
Well, it is a fact that he is rolling back females' rights, because anytime that you are implementing laws that give us less authority over our body, over our condition, you're rolling back our rights. Now, again, every woman, just like every black person, every human, we're different. We're not one single voter. We have many issues that affect us. So I, as a female, maybe economics or child health care might be my number one issue. So I may vote. And, no party is 100% in line with what I believe. But if abortion is, maybe I'm not of baby making age, or maybe I am super Catholic, then I could see myself voting for Trump. But
thank you, Buckeye.
My number one issue is women's rights, and I'm not. For that reason, I could actually never vote Republican. We can be in line economically, education-wise, but my number one issue is females' right, and so that's why I can never be a Republican. And again, there's a lot of women who side with their abusers, Stockholm syndrome. So I'm not surprised.
So you do buy into the sentiment that he's rolling back rights. So you're saying not only Trump, but you would never vote Republican in general.
Yes, definitely. While I am pro-life, while if I got pregnant today, I would never have an abortion, nor have I ever had one. I believe it's every woman's right to do what she wants with her body. Until a fetus can survive in the outside world on its own, which is 24 weeks and over, it's the woman's choice. It's the woman's decision.
So would you be okay at limiting abortion to 24 weeks then?
Definitely.
Okay. Now, in the comments, I've got a couple women on YouTube. Norina says, so it's about killing your unborn baby. So do you see abortion as killing in any way, fashion, or form?
I don't. again, if the fetus is survivable outside of my body, then to me that is a baby, that's a living being. Then that's murder. But outside of that, it's just an organ. It's just a part of my body.
Okay.
And every woman is free to do what he or she wants. For me personally, I would never have an abortion.
So, in regards to you suggesting you would never vote Republican because of this issue, in the comments on TikTok, Val says women have been put under more oppression with Democrats. We had more freedoms with Trump. That's a female. Why do you think a woman would suggest under Trump it was more free than it is under Democrats?
Because she's crazy. Because let's keep it real. What the hell has changed between Obama, Biden, and Trump? Outside of Roe v. Wade, what have they changed? Let's not give the president too much credit or too much blame. Have any of those presidents stopped us from voting? Have they stopped our access to contraception? Maybe under Trump. But I mean, nothing has really changed for us women. So let's stop it, okay? We're not living under a jihadist government. Stop going extra. People are just doing too much at this point.
Wow. Well said, Val. I mean, Marie, I do got to move it on. Appreciate you coming through.
Thank you so much, handsome. You take care. Have a good day.
Pleasure. You too. So appreciate you folks that are indeed tapping the screen. My YouTube audience was hammering her pretty hard. The monkey was too stunned to speak. That folks, be kind to the guests. That's a harsh comment. By the way, feel free to tap the screen. My TikTok users, certainly nearly 750 of you in, and we should be around 30,000 likes. A lot of lazy ass thumbs. Helps out the algorithm. Bring in more MAGA. Same thing on YouTube. For my viewers on YouTube, feel free to smash that like button. A subscription, if you will. We're here Monday through Friday, weekdays at 1 p.m. Central. Call out those lazy thumbs. Thank you, Grandma. Grandma's a friend of the program. I like it. Jersey Rivera says use birth control. But if the birth control fails, what happens? Women who vote Trump hate themselves and lack self-esteem. Damn, that comment came from Mind Your Business. Wow, that's powerful. Yikes. Going back to the box. Women who vote for Trump have low self-esteem. Snoop. Now, oh, wow. Power to the people with the teddy bear. You've made my Friday. Thank you. Thank you, power to the people. Going to the box. That was nice. That was really nice of you. Thank you. Going back to the box, it definitely froze there, so we'll give it a second. Thank you for that, power to the people. The teddy bear is gorgeous, says Grandma. Damn right. Low self-esteem. You can't even eat or pay your rent with the Dems, says Val. Wow. Can you play Four Wheeler by Miles? Is a good song and it would mean a lot to me. No, I cannot. Going back to the box. I don't know what happened with my last guest, but we will keep it going. Let's go with Bob Paytner. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Is Trump being victimized? Shit, who just sent that? Hang on a second, Bob. Do want to say thank you to Buckeye. Buckeye, absolutely a friend of the program. Thank you, Buckeye. Shout out to you. Bob, good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. So we're talking about Trump being ordered to pay $335 million, only asking for 30 days leeway to give him time before they enforce it. And they told him no, as if he has $335 million in his damn back pocket. Are they actually victimizing? Is this personal?
Yeah, I believe. Oh, it's very personal. I mean, the judge from the beginning said he didn't like Trump.
Yeah.
And then also, the governor of New York got online and gave a statement basically saying, "Hey, this ain't gonna happen to anybody else. It's just for Trump." You know what I'm saying? But yet they all operate the same way as a developer. I'm a building contractor. You know what I'm saying? So I understand exactly what he did in his statements. His financial statements, it's standard.
So you're saying that not only is he being victimized, you're saying he didn't commit a crime at all. And Gomez, thank you for those confetti. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Buckeye with the shades. Thank you. So you're saying he didn't commit a crime at all?
That's right. There's no crime. I mean, he filled out his financial statements. The bank looked at them. The bank reevaluated what they felt the property was worth, and they had it separately appraised, and then they gave him money based on what their appraisal was, and then he paid them all the money back. Who is the victim?
So why do you think his own lawyer, Michael Cohen, his quote-unquote fixer, is saying that they were fudging numbers?
Michael Cohen hates Trump. I mean, he's gonna lie, first of all. But I mean, look at Mr. Wonderful's out there telling the same story.
Yeah.
And I mean, the bank got online. The bank got on the witness stand and said, "We love Trump. You know, we would be glad to give him a loan today. You know, he's always paid his money back. It's not been an issue, and so I mean, it's definitely a victim. They're just trying to take what they can from him, trying to stop him from running for president."
Well, I will say this though, even if there is allegedly no victims, if you hand over financial documents and by law you're required to tell the truth on those documents, the fact that you can get it by the bank or the bank doesn't catch the error, if it is indeed a lie, against the law to lie on him, then I don't know if he did that or not, but if he did, suggesting that the bank is happy their loan was paid off doesn't excuse the fact that you lied on the document.
No. There's no lying on the documents. And when I say that is that real estate is opinion based. Okay.
Okay.
So it depends on who wants to. And I'm a real estate agent for 25 years.
All right.
So it's what somebody's willing to pay for it, and what somebody's willing to do to buy or sell it for. That's what it's worth. Mar-a-Lago, they said it was worth $18 million. Mm-hmm. There's no way in hell that property's worth $18 million. There's a property right in front of it. It's worth a shitload more, is what I'm saying. Thank you. Give me one of the orange one. There's no way. There is they didn't bring in the right people. You know, they basically just determined what they felt like that property is worth on their own.
Yeah.
You know,
something, but what you're saying, I think makes a lot of sense, but I believe also is what caught Trump up in the end. In my opinion, Trump obviously was a longtime friend of Rudolph Giuliani. I mean, he's even admitted he worked with the mob when he showed he could get buildings and ice rinks built faster than anyone else. I think Trump owned New York just like Giuliani and many others. And when it came to getting loans from the bank, hey, it's Trump. We don't need to actually take a look at what's on the documents. I think he could have put anything down. He was good for the money.
No, the bank doesn't work like that. The bank works like this. They're gonna have a separate appraisal done on any project that you borrowing money on. So if you say this project or the value of this project that I'm going to build should be worth $300 million, they're going to do their own evaluation based upon a separate entity.
But you do realize one of the appraisers actually testified that he came to do the appraisal. Trump told him Melania was in the place and indisposed, and he didn't even do it. He testified that himself. They just went by Trump's numbers. One of them testified and said he actually did that.
Well, then he probably did it on his own. But
yeah.
Again, you can go back through county records, through state records, and find out what things have sold for. You can look at the percentage of increase just through the MLS, which is the listing system. You can go through that and judge and see what is sold for in the last 10 years or whatever. You know, you can search back as far as you want.
How about this one? How about this? Gomez in the comments makes a good point, because I used to be a landlord in Chicago, nowhere in Trump's universe, but I did own a few properties. And Gomez makes a good point that I am familiar with because it was done in my case. He stated that they do drive-by appraisals all the time now, meaning that they just drive by, which means they didn't even go in the property, they didn't take actual measurements inside. And based on that, you can't be certain that what they're saying is of real value, but they do actually do drive-by appraisals, because I've had it done.
Well, most of the time, when you're doing a drive-by appraisal, you've already seen the pictures of the inside of the house from the real estate agent that's taken them.
Okay.
So if you don't get, and I find that That never happens here. I'll just tell you right now. An appraiser calls me as a real estate agent, calls me, says, "Hey, I need to get into this house. It's 30 days before closing. I need to do my appraisal." They always come down. They go in the house and look at all the things that's in the house.
Yeah.
And then they note that, and then they do the comps based upon what's closest by.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because I think I'm on your side in terms of, at the very least, believing it's excessive. I don't necessarily agree with you that he committed zero crimes, but I certainly see it as possibly being.
Let me ask you something. What crime did he commit?
He got loans by lying that other people would not have got by telling the truth. And like I said, I used to be a landlord myself, and I didn't realize I was being victimized until I got a letter from some attorneys saying that Countrywide gave you a loan at a higher interest rate than they gave other people under the same circumstances. Would you like to be a part? So you don't always know. And there's victims out there that may have told the exact truth and got more tougher circumstances than Trump, because Trump may have been fudging the numbers. So they are victims.
Well, not really, because see, like Deutsche Bank, they don't even loan you any money unless it's like $100 million or so. You know what I'm saying? That's not a bank that was going to. It's not the average everyday bank that you're going to go in and say, "Hey, let me get a car loan," or "Let me get." I mean, they do big money deals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Bob, it doesn't matter what financial level you're at, even if it's to the moon. What you put down on the paperwork does affect what's going on with the numbers. If you lie, it's going to affect what they're giving you, even if you're filthy rich.
No, because they're going to do their own. They're doing their own due diligence.
Okay.
And that's what I'm saying. That's going to. Let me tell you how it's going to affect New York to begin with. It'll affect them because there'll be a lot of developers that are going to leave. I mean, they're just saying, "I'm not going to fool with this because I'm not going to go through the same process because somebody's on the wrong side of the line, whether it's a Democrat or whoever's in charge at the time." Okay, so now I'm opposite of the county or the building department, so I can face all these fines. I'm not gonna deal with that because the value is not is always going to be it's opinion. It's always based on opinion.
So you think the potential weaponizing of the system against Trump or the unfairness may lead to developers, particularly like Mr. Wonderful from I can't think of the program right now, but the guy you're talking about.
Sharks, yeah.
Yes, yeah, Shark Tank. You're saying that folks like that are going to get the hell out of there because the system is unfair.
Grant Cardone also said. I mean, he's a big-time real estate developer as well.
Yeah.
He already said we pulled all of our resources out of New York.
All right.
We're not going to fool with that.
We will see how that goes. I do got to move it on, Bob. I appreciate you coming through. That is something that remains to be seen. We'll see if it go down like that.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. And I do appreciate you folks that are viewing the program. I want to give my spiel real quick before we go back to the box on developers pulling out of New York because of what they view as an unfair system under Trump. Just real quick, I'll solicit over 700, nearly 800 of you in here on TikTok. Tap the screen. Get your boy up to around 50,000. Show your boy some love this Friday. You can be anywhere you want to be. It's a pleasure having you here. Same thing on YouTube. If you enjoy civilized dialogue from both sides of the aisle, without any concern whatsoever of the host blocking or banning you. This is a free speech forum every single damn day of the week. You're in the right place. Follow the program. Feel free to drop a subscription. Developers pulling out of New York. Here's the issue I have with that. And I know there's a host of truck drivers not going there and folks like the Shark Tank guys suggesting they won't do business there. Here's the issue I have. Folks who like to make money like to make money. If you do business in Russia, like Trump was doing, if you do business in China, like a hell of a lot of developers do, despite the fact that they treat humans, mankind, horribly in China. Yet there is no shortage of American developers that'll do business in China. If you do business in those places to make money, you'll damn sure continue doing business in New York. DJ Julio, yeah! Thank you for the hat and mustache. So while I do believe some folks may have a passionate point about Trump, folks like to make money. You're not going to turn down millions of dollars because Trump. You didn't care about sweatshops in China or abuse in Russia But Trump, who's bragging that he has plenty of money, is enough to make you stop doing business in New York? That doesn't make sense to me. But maybe I'm wrong. Going back to the box, appreciate you folks that are tapping the screen. Get your boy likes on up. You know how we do. Real quick, DJ Julio indeed. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. And I see somebody said empty thread. Ryan John said an empty thread. We'll see. We'll see. So DJ Julio, good afternoon. Julio, you might have a bad signal. Can you hear me? All right, DJ Julio, you got a bad signal. Feel free to come back. Grandma, yeah, thank you for the hat and mustache. It's not Trump. It's the millions in fines for conducting business. China reverse engineers our technology and steals the whole fucking patent. You're going to tell me that fines will stop folks from doing business in New York where they actually have some recourse in the justice system, but they're doing business in China where they actually steal your whole idea and sell it around the world. Yet there is no shortage of U.S. investors operating in China. Something doesn't sound right. I'm just saying it. I'm not suggesting that some folks may not follow through. Gomez with the money gun, thank you. But what I'm saying is I think the continuation of business in China and business in Russia shows that folks will deal with some shady ass countries. New York is not even in the same universe as China or Russia in terms of how bad you could be treated. So I question it. I really do. Looking in the comments, Alan Weiselberg, the former chief financial officer at Donald Trump's company, went to jail. Yikes, I do believe I've heard that, George Horch. Going back to the box, ETH, good afternoon, welcome to the program. I don't know what's going on with the box. We'll give it a second. The Chinese Trump shoes are Nike's Air Force Ones. I've heard they're called January 6ers or sixes, the J6s. That's what I've heard them called, the J6 high tops. I don't know what name they are. I've heard a host of names being called. Republicans can't get a fair treatment in New York. Rudolph Giuliani didn't seem to have a problem with New York. I don't know about not being able to get a fair treatment. I think that to some degree, even though I lean left, I'm not going to deny that the attacks against Trump are personal. But that's Trump. I don't see all Republicans being treated like Trump in New York. That is Trump. If you are a Republican business owner in New York, you're not going to go to court and act like Trump. No Republican business person is going to go to court and be texting out the clerk's address, talking about the judge's wife. How many of you think that maybe some of that $335 million had partially to do with Trump's antics in court? Most Republican businessmen ain't gonna do that. So some of that is above and beyond typical New York court cases. Trump acts differently in court than virtually any of us. That comes with repercussions. That actually comes with consequences. You can't treat a judge like shit even if the case is complete bullshit. You can't do that. He did. You don't like the outcome. That happens. Gomez, good afternoon. Let's try it again. So the judge make a decision based on his emotions, right? We all do. We all do. How many folks have been found in contempt based on a judge's emotion? That's not new. It just happened to Trump this time. Gomez, good afternoon. You are on mute. Good afternoon, Gomez.
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm doing good. Now, 335 mil, what say you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy judgment. I mean, first of all, she ran on, the whole premise of making Trump guilty, right? But let's just kind of simple this down. I'm a realtor, right, in California.
Okay.
And I don't live in, like, New York or L.A. or San Francisco, you know? But so when you're asking the bank for money, and you have a house in escrow.
I'll let you, hold on, let me interrupt you real quick, and I will let you continue. As you say she ran, talking about Letitia James ran on the premise that if she gets elected, she's going to go after Trump. Do you think that is wrong for a politician to run, suggesting they're going to get somebody if they're reelected, or if they are elected?
Well, I think people are innocent until they're found guilty.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean, just.
Well, let me just say this. I'm bringing this up for two reasons. One, the woman that actually convicted O.J. Simpson in Nevada after he escaped the California case, also that female judge ran on that same premise. If she got to go behind the bench, she would go after O.J. Simpson. And many people believe that even though what happened in California looks like O.J. Simpson is guilty, what happened in Nevada was him being railroaded. Nobody gave a damn about that. Also, President Trump himself ran a campaign that if he got elected, he would go after Hillary Clinton. So what I'm suggesting to you is that that's actually quite normal.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I hear your point. I guess, for a lot of people that don't understand this case, if I could simple it down, when you ask for a loan from a bank when you're buying a house,
okay,
they will have a third-party person go out there and appraise the property, right? And what's crazy is you could send 5 appraisers out to the property, and they'll all come out with a different number. But what's also funny is when you're in escrow at a certain price,
okay,
magically, the appraiser, most of the time comes up with that, specific price.
All right.
You know what I mean? Which is, so it is what it is. But what I'm saying is the fact that there's no victims in this crime is kind of crazy.
Well, but here's the problem I have with that. Everything from prostitution to drug abuse, there are plenty of things you can be thrown in prison for a long time that have no victims. You get the point I'm making?
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest. If you sleep with a prostitute and they walk up on you and catch you, she's getting paid, she's happy, she may even allow you to use her services again. You're paying, you're getting. There's no victims in that. Yet you can go to jail for that.
So how do you think that this will help the market? How do you think this, and will this hurt will this hurt New York or help New York?
New York is a liberal area, just like the same thing with abortion down south. It's a Republican area. I think it'll go on just fine. I mean, I do hear some folks saying that they're not going to do business in New York, but at the end of the day, folks who make money like making money. I don't think it's going to hurt New York on the long term. I mean, if you decide not to do, let's say you got a successful business in New York, like Leary, Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank. So he's got successful businesses, but he don't like New York politics, so he pulls out. There's going to be a ton of investors that are going to say he was doing this in New York and making a ton of money, and he stopped doing this. That is my opening to do exactly what he was doing and make the money that he no longer makes. They'll fill that blank in like nothing.
But I think that the politics have been brought into, and first of all, what do you think about the $350 $1 million, judgment? Do you think that's excessive?
Yeah, I think it's excessive. I can't defend that, but
the Supreme Court, it's obviously going to be,
But here's the point, though. I also think the E. Jean Carroll $83 million was excessive too. But once again, here's where I differ from MAGA. MAGA believes that as long as Trump is a good president, he should be able to say whatever the hell he wants and insult whoever he wants. You can't go to court asking for relief while still doing the same shit. So he'll go on an appeal with E. Jean Carroll and Letitia James, but you're still insulting the hell out of everybody in the process. So while it is excessive, his mouth may be part of it.
How do you feel about court cases in general being decided just by one judge and not a jury?
He had a chance to, that's something he did, that is something he selected. He could have had a jury. He chose to let a judge do it because New York is a liberal state. So the assumption is if we let a judge do it, maybe the judge will actually do things fair as opposed to our chance of getting a bunch of liberals. He went with the judge, and it didn't work out in his favor.
So you don't agree with the dollar amount, right? You said. So what would you recommend that he does?
Wow. I think the issue is
obviously appeal.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that he should appeal, and I think he would get it reduced. He's not going to pay zero, but he could get that $335 million dropped substantially. E. Jean Carroll's case, I don't think he would win on appeal because he's likely to continue defaming her while doing it. So, if anything, he might fuck around and get an upward modification with E. Jean Carroll. But with Letitia James, like you said, no victims or minimal. I do believe there are some victims, but nobody's crying foul. So I do believe $335 million seems excessive. But as I say all the time, I don't think you or I could go to court. Let's say you get a speeding ticket for $200. And when you go to court, you talk shit about the judge and everybody in there. You think you're going to walk out only paying $200?
Yeah, I know.
So,
I hear what you're saying, but Trump is different. He's been doing that to the whole country, half of the country, right? So for a while, but
and we celebrate that. You know, we like a guy who doesn't cave in. He speaks like a typical New Yorker. We like him because he shoots from the hip. Well, there is a cost to that, and $335 million may be part of it. Yeah. All right, no man.
Who's going to win the election?
My money, if I had to bet, I do believe that Biden will win based on a few factors. First of all, we don't know what's going to come out of the 91 charges. We're just assuming Trump will either beat 91 federal charges, which is a hell of a hurdle, or he'll delay them all one way or another. I think that alone is a hell of a hurdle to defeat. And some of those cases prevent him from running, and others have had independents say, well, if he's convicted of that, I ain't going to even vote for him. So I think that's a hurdle that Trump faces that Biden does not. Also, you got to weigh the border with the abortion crisis, because Biden's getting hammered on the border. The Republicans are getting hammered by rolling back Roe v. Wade. Biden has a little play by saying, look, we finally gave you a bill, even though it took forever to do it, that you turned down because of Trump. There's no defense at all in place for Roe v. Wade. So even though, taking my politics out of it, just judging it from the outside looking in, I think there's a slight edge to President Biden because of what I just stated.
Yeah. What do you mean no defense with Roe v. Wade?
Every Republican state that has allowed its actual citizens to vote went against what Republicans want on abortion. They're actually doing that irrespective of the actual citizens. Kansas, Ohio, these blood red states, when the actual people are allowed to vote, even though they overwhelmingly vote Republican, they vote against the abortion ban. They don't want that.
Yeah, I mean, we can go into that for days, I guess, right?
You think they do?
I'm not going to turn your live into an abortion debate, because just saying that they're against abortion or for abortion is a gray area.
Okay, let me rephrase. They are against the bans that the Republicans are doing. There's not one Republican state where abortion went up for a vote and they voted to keep it in. They're voting to get rid of that. They are against the Republican legislation coming down the pipe on abortion. They are against it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I want more laws to be held up to the states, and I think that's what that did. But,
Well, understand, when I say they're against it, I'm talking about at the state level. I'm not talking federal. I'm talking about the state. What's happening is, because Roe versus Wade has been rolled back, it's actually slowly but surely codifying it into constitutions. Kansas, Ohio, they're putting the right to have an abortion in their constitution. So it's actually getting stronger because of this.
Well, then that should be a good thing then, right?
Yeah.
For Democrats?
I
don't know if are they seeing that?
Well, they will likely at the polls. They will likely at the polls, which is how I answered your question. Appreciate you coming through, Gomez. You're always, and by the way, thank you. Appreciate your generosity. Appreciate that. Anytime, my door's open.
Thank you, man. Have a good one.
You too. Looking in the comment section. Codified, not certified, whatever the case may be. But the thing about it is what's happening, because I think Florida also might be next in the national election in November, where they're also going to they're trying to get abortion rights put into the voting, so that when you vote in the 2024 presidential election, all of the down ballot senators and Congress, well, they also vote for laws. When you go vote, do you want this to become law? Do you want that proposition to become abortion? When they put it down for folks to vote, even the Republicans tend to vote against these bans. Florida could be the next state that makes it by law a woman has a right. So particularly when they do it draconian style, meaning I don't care if you're damn near about to die, you got to have this baby, which we know some cases like that has happened. So I do believe that could work in favor of the Democrats if the Republicans don't get that under control real quick. See, Osby, appreciate the roses. Going back to the box. It's Trump being victimized by the justice system. That's what we're asking. Card pulls by Sergeant. Good afternoon, Card pulls. Welcome to the program. Appreciate you folks tapping the screen. My YouTube folks, feel free to smash that like button, a subscription if you will. Card, good afternoon. Okay, that happens. I'm going to move it on, but listen, I got a lot of folks that want to get into the program, a lot of folks that are passionate in their opinions. Sometimes the wait can be a few minutes. Folks call in and they are actually asleep when you answer the phone. I believe that's what just happened with the last call. It's happened a few times. Listen, that's how the program runs. Going back to the box, Tim the Patriot. How can I pass up speaking with a Patriot? Good afternoon, Tim, a man of my same name. Is Trump being victimized by the system? Now, the box is taking a moment, so we'll give it a moment to come up. Polls show USA loves corrupt, toxic, hating leaders. Trump will win, will pardon himself. The box is taking a moment, so we'll tackle that. In regards to liking toxic, hating leaders, DJ Julio, thank you. Appreciate that. It's hard for Trump to be victorious while simultaneously saying everybody in DC is corrupt. Remember, Trump needs the Senate in Congress to impose his legislation. Remember the phrase, they've been after him since day one? How do you think things are going to go if he continues to suggest that everybody in Washington needs to be fired, including Republicans? That stuff comes back to bite you. I'm just going to say that. You can only insult people so much. The Republicans in Republican Senate and Congress, the folks worked hard to get where they are. You think they want to be insulted by that or threatened to be terminated because they're part of the swamp? I would submit to you there's probably a hell of a lot of Republican senators and congressmen that don't want Trump getting elected either. That needs to stop. What happened to trying to unify the country? You're talking about people in your own party are swamp creatures. Now remember, Trump's on the outside looking in. He's not president yet. I do believe that if you're going to do that shit, at least be in the White House first. That could really come back to bite him. I'm just saying. Going back to the box, I don't know what's going on, but we'll go to DJ Julio. We'll try to make it work this time. Had a little audio issues, I think, or the signal. Julio, good afternoon.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. So what do you think? I'm going to give you the second question. So many women are saying Trump, Republicans are rolling back women's rights, yet there's a hell of a lot of women voting Republican. Make it make sense.
I get, with women, I really try to tread lightly.
Do you see any women losing rights under the Republicans?
That's so hard because people, you know my stance on this. I'm about 50-50. I'm pro-life, but I agree that there's circumstances that come up that a pregnancy needs to be terminated. As far as all the other rights, I don't think they're losing any rights except for that one that I see.
Okay, so you do see them potentially losing some abortion rights, though. You said, but that one.
Yeah, you know, and you know, much like the death penalty. I mean, you gotta be careful on what you say is right and what you say is wrong. I don't think abortion should ever. And I have 3 daughters. You know, 26, 23, 17. They're all. I've got 2 of my daughters giving me grandchildren. Love it to death.
Congratulations. Okay.
Thank you.
Good shit.
They've known my entire life and their entire life how I stand. If you're gonna play stupid games, you're gonna win stupid prizes. So if you're gonna go out and have sex, you better be ready for the consequence. The consequence being a child.
Let me interrupt you because I want to because we're talking about the women with this, but I want to pose something to you. You know, I always bring interesting comments in. This comment coming from YouTube I thought was worthy of tackling. Gen Xer, who is a friend of the program, says, ever since we allowed women to vote, things have went to shit. Feelings-based legislation and policy is doomed to fail. Do you see any legitimacy to that women voters are turning things to shit?
I don't know that they're turning it to shit. Problem is men. God, I'm gonna probably get kicked for this one. Not kicked off the site, but kicked in my leg.
I'll never kick you off, but go ahead.
Women tend to, whether it's in the house or on the ballot, they tend to vote emotionally.
Yeah.
You know, when you're what people don't understand, I think a lot of people don't understand, is that the United States is a corporation. Anyway,
I've heard that.
If we're going to have social economic assistance, if we're going to have food stamps, if we're going to have housing, if we're going to have all these things where people of lower income can get benefit, that at that turns into a financial gain, right? So at that point, it's a business.
Okay.
If we're to run this as a business, we got to take emotion out of it.
But wait a minute. We know business doesn't give a damn about people that cannot afford their goods or their services. If you're running a business, the sole goal is your bottom line. You really don't care about other things. So healthcare, private, public school for your citizens to make sure they're educated. A business don't care. If I'm not making money from this, I don't give a damn about it. You want to run a country like that where you don't care about those who can't afford your goods or services, where you can't profit?
Nope, and I think that's why I voted for. That's one of the bigger reasons why I voted for Trump the first term, is because he was business minded, but he cared about the people. He tried to implement as much as he could to benefit the middle class, because he understands that the middle class is building his buildings.
So how do you view so many folks who work for Trump suing him, suggesting he don't pay his bills? I mean, hell, even the lawyers are suggesting he don't pay them. You said he cares about the people that work for him. There's a lot of folks that work for Trump that are complaining they never got paid.
See, and that I wonder how much has to do. I don't think Trump pays bills. I mean, when you would say now, and I mean this in the most professional way.
Okay.
I don't pay my bills. I have an accountant that pays my bills.
Okay.
I don't see them. I don't worry about them. I make sure, she tells me, okay, hey Ryan, you're going towards the red a little bit. Let's get you back to the black. You need to get some more jobs on the table. I go out and if I'm more.
So do you have a lot of people? Do you have a lot of people suing you on the grounds that your accountant never paid them?
No.
Okay.
No.
So, but you do realize your accountant is hired by you. If the person that works for you don't get paid, you don't get to blame the accountant. You didn't pay them.
Well, and see, I don't know how Trump, how Daddy Don, if I've heard people call him.
Yeah.
I don't know how he runs his finances. I don't know if he's got a board of directors that most of his stuff is in trust. I don't know exactly how he's not paying the bill or why he's not paying the bill. I don't know enough about it. So, if he's not paying his bills, then that's messed up.
Yeah. I mean, he is, and I'm not saying this to bash Trump, but he is known for not paying attorneys. I mean, that guy goes through attorneys, like a hoe go through Johns. I mean, he go through a lot of attorneys.
Yeah. Well, and if I'm in a proceeding, I guess, or I don't feel my attorney's doing her job or his job, I might tell that attorney, listen, you didn't do anything that you agreed to. You didn't.
But then it goes back to the question: why do you keep picking so many incompetent attorneys? This is kind of similar to his administration. These folks are not doing a good job, so we're going to let them go. Why do you keep picking bad people?
good attorneys are a little bit like rats, man. They're everywhere. So you try to grab one that sounds good, that looks good, that has a good track record, and maybe he just doesn't know enough about you or know how to run your like my lawyer that I have for everything that I've ever had to have a lawyer for in my life knows me very well, knows me very personally, knows that if me and him sit down and we work together on a case, we're going to win that case.
Okay. I mean, but you've been a successful businessman. You're in your late 70s. You still don't know how to pick attorneys yet? I mean, the guy's been sued probably. Any businessman at Trump's level gets sued a lot. You should easily be good at picking attorneys by now.
You should be, but then again, we go back to that same question. Do we know if he's picking his attorneys? Do we know for sure that Donald Trump himself is going, yes, this is who I want?
But then that goes back to your accountant statement. If folks are suing you because the accountant you hired are not paying them, then get a better accountant. If the lawyers you're constantly hiring are screwing up, or the person that's recommending the lawyers to you is making bad recommendations, at some point, you're the king of the empire. Everything that's happening under you, you can't keep blaming on these different entities. You gave them all their jobs. Pick some better people.
And I'm not saying what you're saying isn't valid 100%. I'm just saying based on my knowledge, and I don't have a lot of knowledge about his lawsuits when it comes to his business doings. I've been focusing more on what's going on in New York, what's he planning to do with the border next, what's he going to do with the economy.
Yeah.
I'm looking in that direction. I'm not, to be quite honest, Tim. Once last week passed, I don't think about it again.
So you're not supporting that trucker strike in New York.
Well, to be quite honest, I am.
But wait a minute. You said once last week passed, you don't think about it. The trucker strike is thinking about last week.
That's me. That's me. That's me completely. I'm not talking for anybody else. I'm just saying I don't live in the past. I'm here to set myself better tomorrow.
Okay.
And then the day after that, I'm going better. And what I'm hoping is that from what I've seen in his life, I'm hoping that he went from this shady individual and he's growing into at a late age. He's a late bloomer maybe. That he's trying to do things more correctly. This thing in New York, it's a freaking sham. This freaking thing in Colorado and where's that other place, Maine or whatever, that they're trying to get him off the ballot? That's crock shit. I mean, it's.
But when you say you don't, think about the past, how do you feel about him constantly suggesting the 2020 election was stolen and he won?
I feel like he feels he did. I feel like, to be quite honest, I have a hard time believing he's not president right
now. But Julio, it's not, okay, Biden is almost done with the whole term. What happened in 2020 happened in 2020. It's not going to be overturned. At what point does that lose value? Why keep bringing it up? I mean, you're not going to be put in office. It's over with.
If I'm his advisor, that shit don't come out of his mouth.
Okay.
I mean, if you feel that way, I support you, Don, but we're not talking about it no more.
Why haven't he produced?
When I talk to my kids, I don't let my kids talk about last year. I don't let my wife talk about last year because it's gone. It don't matter. We can't change it.
Fair.
It is what it is. We do better today.
Sounds like the Lion King, where the guy hits him in the head and say, "Don't worry about it. It's in the past." So,
100%. Yeah.
So last question is why isn't there been more evidence coming from Trump about the 2020 election? Since he talks about it all the time, where's the evidence?
I don't have that answer either, and I don't know that I could. If I dug hard enough, I don't know that I could find that.
Yeah.
That being said, again, he's spouting shit that he feels. It doesn't matter. It's a talking point that brings him to his next point.
But you do realize.
We're gonna make sure we're good on elections this time.
But you say he's spouting things when he feels it doesn't matter. You do realize January 6th happened because of what he was spouting. I mean, you do realize folks have been killed because of that.
Now, January 6th happened because the America that stood behind his ideology wanted to back him up, and there were some bad actors in that crowd that ended up pushing through the gates. The guards let him through. Donald told him, go home peacefully. He told the Proud Boys, stand by, stand fast, whatever he told them. He did. There is not a damn thing that he did. Not a single thing. And if people get out of their feelings for a minute, they'll realize it. He didn't do anything but say what he felt.
But did you hear what I said, though? But did you hear what I said? you're saying you just said he said what he felt without any evidence to back it up, and it led to this happening. Whether you think it was his fault or not, the only reason they were there is because he was telling them the election was stolen, and yet we're 3 years out and you don't have significant proof. That's what I'm saying. If he keeps saying it, it's possible more people could be harmed. At the very least, prove what you're saying is valid.
What about this scenario, Tim? What if, similar to 2001, all of a sudden a building fell and there was no more evidence to be found?
What's your point?
What if the evidence that he could have had is gone? What if it got burned up? What if it got dumped in a river?
Okay.
What if if he's had something on the voting machines? It's not too hard to get rid of evidence on a.
Wait, Julio. He's saying that several states cheated. You think they all set fires and burned things up?
Well, you don't do it. You don't do it unless you're going to do it together. And if you do it together, just like any bad actors doing any bad things, they're going to get rid of evidence the way they need to.
So Mike Pence.
Regardless of what happened in 2020, that's over.
But Julio, it's not over. He's saying it at every rally. It's not over. He's still saying it.
It ramps up his crowd.
Okay. So let me ask you, before I'm moving on, Mike Pence, who was a second highest ranking member of this entire country, would have gotten another 4 years if Trump won. He would have been probably the next biggest beneficiary of a Trump second term. Why is he saying Trump lost? I mean, he would have stood to gain so much by saying he won. Why would he say Trump lost?
In my humblest of opinions, Pence is shutting his mouth to protect his own ass for future political gain. Who knows if we're going to see him on the ballot in 2028?
Wouldn't he have? But would he not have gained so much more if he had stood with Trump and they won a second term? He'd still be VP. He'd still be in line for a possible 2028 presidential run. He lost a hell of a lot by saying that.
Much like you said with your previous caller that was talking when he was talking about New York and Letitia James. If you go against the establishment, you lose. They're going to come at you twice as hard. Wow. Now, if the establishment told him to shut his mouth, because here's the thing about January 6th. Trump asked for it. Trump asked for the National Guard. Nancy Pelosi said no. He went to the mayor. The mayor said Nancy Pelosi said no. We could have had ample security for that rally had Nancy Pelosi done her freaking job.
But Trump said it's a love fest. Why would you need security for a love fest? He said he actually refers to it as a great day.
He called the general himself and asked him. There's an interview on it on YouTube. There's an interview where he's talking about, he goes, I called him. I called and said, hey, I think we should get the National Guard. And the exact words from the mayor were, Nancy Pelosi said we didn't need it. So
let me ask you this. If you're throwing an event, because he obviously threw the event, and you think that you possibly need the National Guard and they're not there, why still continue the event if you think it might be a risk?
Well, much like the club I used to work in, there was the shooting outside back December of 2020. 2021 come around, and I told all the security guards, hey, we need to get wands. We need to start checking everybody that comes in the building. Unfortunately, I lost a friend in February. Got shot in the face.
Damn. Sorry to hear that.
If they would have implemented the security, that wouldn't have happened.
So do you hold Trump accountable for suggesting that I knew we may need security? I knew security was not there, and I continued the event anyway, leading to what all of that melee that happened. But I knew ahead of time we should have security here. I knew ahead of time security was not here, and I threw the event anyway.
Do you blame me for my buddy getting shot?
You didn't have control over the security. You just recommended it, and you didn't own the event. If you were the owner of that venue,
I did actually own the event. Because I paid to have everything that I was doing that night.
Wait a minute. You owned the event, and as an owner, you recognized we needed more security. Correct?
Yes.
And you didn't get security, but you kept the event going.
I told the person that was above me, because I'm here on this level. There's a person above me that makes all the final decisions with the club.
Okay.
Right? He owns the whole club. I own the event that I was throwing.
Could you personally had canceled the event that you knew was lacking in security?
Nope, it would have been open anyway.
Okay, Trump could have canceled the event.
Right. But as Trump being me, the DJ, he went to the appropriate route because Nancy Pelosi at that time controlled the National Guard.
But you don't. It's a little different because you admitted that you could not. If you had said yes, I could have canceled the event. Then yeah, I would have said you're responsible. Trump could have canceled that. You know, there's a security risk ahead of time, and you're going to throw this anyway. Yeah, but you didn't have, as you stated, you didn't have the ability to cancel it.
Same situation. He could have canceled it, but people would have showed up. Because people were showing up regardless. People were showing up to stand up for who they believed was right.
Yeah, but they would not have went to the. They stood there for the 90 minutes he gave a speech with no intention of going to the Capitol building, which was closed, by the way, until he told them to go there. So they may have came there, but they would not have went to the Capitol building.
Well, we don't know that because that doesn't happen. Much like my club situation, if I would have canceled my show that night, or canceled my shows that were on those weekends after December all the way to February, if I would have canceled those shows until they put proper security in, it might have been different.
Well, why not do this then? If you know you don't have proper security, all Trump had to do is tweet out, we're going to have this Saturday. We're moving the event to Saturday, and that would have stopped that. They would have came the next day. They would have came the day he told them to come.
Yeah, but then you got, January 6th is transition day. That's the day you want to throw your rally.
Why are you doing it on transition day? Are you trying to stop the transition?
Yeah, if you feel you're wrong, yeah.
You do realize you're admitting to a coup, right? That is an insurrection you just admitted to. You're trying to stop a smooth transition of power. You just literally admitted it's an insurrection.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
okay,
but I don't think
that's a crime, Julio. That is a federal crime. You just admitted. You just admitted that he committed a federal crime. He deliberately planned it on a specific day to stop the transition. That you just admitted the whole crime. Stay away from courts. Don't ever testify to that.
But listen, in Article 3, Article 14, Section 3, where it states and it talks about the insurrection, it's not once listed that the president.
Okay, but you did admit that he specifically planned it on that day to stop it. That's the crime. I do got to move it on, Julio. You know we do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good talk. Good talk. Come on back anytime. All right, moving the program on, and I appreciate you folks that are tapping the screen. My YouTube audience, understand I do see you folks. I appreciate you, the folks that are in the comments section. Finally, he admitted it's an insurrection, says L. Free Palestine. Good luck. We'll see. That's a lie. Nancy was not in control. It's only the president who have control, says Johan. That did come out in the January 6 hearings, but I will say, regardless of who has control, I've used this example all the time. If you're throwing a party and the DJ is not there, you don't have the party. All of a sudden, you throw a party at my venue, you're hosting it, you find out your DJ didn't show up, but all of these folks don't paid all this money. Instead of giving them their money back, you hold this dead-ass party anyway, and they tear up my damn venue because they're pissed off there's no music playing. Well, I didn't do it. They're full-grown adults. They did it themselves. No. The DJ is not here. You know what they came to see. So, in my opinion, regardless of who was responsible for providing security, if you know there is an active risk, you don't continue the event. Certainly, if you're willing to admit later on, it was so risky, I knew we needed the National Guard. Then why did you continue on with the event? But as my last caller correctly stated, because we needed to do something on that day. We wanted to specifically target January 6th because we had a goal in mind. Now, Trump is not copying to that goal, but my last caller orated it pretty damn clear. Going back to the box, tap the screen. Almost 1,000 of you in here. We're pretty damn close to 100,000 likes, but I'm going to ask that you get me up to at least 80 for now. Happy Friday to all of you folks. DJ Magis, appreciate you coming on. Welcome to the program. Wait a minute, I may have clicked something else here. The federal government has a 99% conviction rate. Yeah, and it doesn't help to have 91 charges, and most of them are at the hands of the federal government. I get your point. Anima, good afternoon.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, so you've been tuned in. I'll give you the floor.
Sorry, what was that?
I said you've been tuned in. I'll give you the floor. What were you about to say?
So I was just for the 355 million finding, correct? So Trump's lawyer had an opportunity to challenge the finding and failed to submit paperwork in time. Are we aware of that?
No, I'm not. Explain that.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a deadline to submit, challenge, like whatever. Either the judge was going to use paperwork from the state, or they had the opportunity to submit paperwork in order to, challenge that, the potential finding based on that evidence.
I think I know why they didn't challenge it. I think what they were accusing Trump of, other than yelling there's no victims, I think what they accuse him of, he's actually guilty, is just, I could do this because nobody was victimized by it. But when they say he lied on a document, for instance, it's pretty clear to see if you lied or not. Now, the evaluation of property, some suggest that they, greatly devaluated Mar-a-Lago and things like that. I can't speak on that, but you're claiming your property is worth this much to get a loan, but then when it's time to pay taxes, your property is suddenly worth this little bit. And I don't think there was anything to challenge, which is probably why they didn't do it.
Yeah, and that was the residential versus commercial property zoning that the building had. I mean, what he did was he flip-flopped it. He used the one, to get the loan, he used the one that would be more expensive, I believe, the commercial one. And then,
So what you're saying is to get the loan, he said it was commercial, but then when it came time to pay it back, he claimed, residential, where you may get more tax benefits.
Basically, I mean,
okay.
that is it somewhat,
Yeah.
yes. And then just what I was going to say is so the finding that 355 million was based on a direct evaluation that could have been challenged by Trump's lawyers and wasn't, of the difference of what he would have earned with the correct property valuation and what he ended up earning after the fraudulent valuation.
Now, I will say, in regards to what you mentioned before about the evaluation of, residential versus commercial, I do know that's possible. It's beyond the statute of limitations, so I'm going to tell you, but I've actually done it myself when I was a landlord. I would purchase 3 flats in Chicago, and you got tenants in it, so it's a commercial property, but I would put bed, maybe put a toilet in the basement and suggest that I'm living on my property, spend a few nights there, and have some of my own personal belongings there to suggest that I'm living in the building as well, and I would be able to get residential insurance, which is cheaper than commercial, and on taxes. I've done it, so I know. I mean, I'm admitting because it's beyond anything that could come up if this video ever gets out to anybody important, but I know you can do it because I've done it myself, and it does save you a lot of money, suggesting that it is commercial when needed and residential when needed on the other side. So it wouldn't surprise me, and that's probably why a lot of investors are saying, if you go after him, it could put me at risk because I'm doing the same shit. It's probably a lot of folks doing that.
Yeah, and I mean, the reality, I can see that there are a lot of things that people could be charged with and aren't. I mean, how many times does a policeman drive past somebody and go, well, they're speeding, but just doesn't pull them over,
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have a quota to meet right that moment. There's a lot of things that go unpunished that somebody who could use the law against somebody just chooses not to. That's just the way things are.
So
yes, is it potentially targeting him?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Possibly, but it's still illegal,
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask. Do you believe the charges that Trump are facing are politically based?
I mean, out of the 4 indictments, I'm sure at least one of them was, somewhat motivated by bipartisan politics. But I mean, the reality is with 91 charges, or more now. I'm not sure if that number's gone up. I've just heard 91.
I think it's still 91 for now.
Yeah, and I mean, with that many, it's just kind of, again, I don't want to go too far on either extreme. Yes, is it possible some's politically based? Absolutely. Is it? But
could it really be that much? Like, why do they have that much dirt to dig up on somebody? Because it's Trump. I mean, he's had these situations, especially real estate based. That stuff's gone on his entire real estate career.
Yeah.
His dad was doing it before him, and if I'm not mistaken, his grandpa was doing some of that shit back in the day. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. When you run for president, they're going to go through your paperwork with a fine-tooth comb, and if there's anything there, they're going to come up with it. And certainly in Trump's case, because he is so, such a bomb thrower, you're giving folks an incentive to really scrutinize you. Like what happened, you talk about political cases. What's happening with Fannie Willis in Fulton County, Georgia, for instance, the one going after Trump, but she got some issues with her boyfriend. That's politics. If she was going after any other business person, that wouldn't come up. I mean, when you're doing something, when you're doing something that is really out there, pissing off a bunch of people, folks are going to go through your shit with a fine-tooth comb. So she's doing something which is going after Trump, which is angering a lot of folks, and they in turn go through her personal life. That is what happens. That's not unique to Trump.
And I'm of the mind that Fani did an amazing job. Like people are saying, oh, she was unhinged or whatever. No, I thought she did a great job. And I listened to most of that, at least the first day that she was testifying. And I also heard some of Wade's testimony before that. And by the way, I thought it was hilarious that the lawyers were calling him Mr. Willis. Like, that was terrible.
Hey.
But can you imagine her, being a DA on that stand, knowing that this is something that other people wouldn't be charged with, like the difference between just a regular citizen sitting there going, not understanding this isn't normal. Like they're just terrified, right? But she's sitting there going, this is bullshit.
Yeah. But that's also what Trump is doing. Trump knows that if he wasn't running for president, a lot of this stuff that he's sitting in court for, what is happening with him in New York with Letitia James. If he didn't run for president, or if he was president and he ran the office in a more dignified manner like George W. Bush or Barack Obama, I don't think Fannie Willis stuff would have ever came to fruition. They would have made a backdoor deal with him. He would have gave him probably $5-10 million after all, there's no victims, and it would have went away. I mean, at the end of the day, the way he acts is probably what led to all of this.
I mean, frankly, if he wasn't running for president, there's a possibility that he could have just been like, I'll just get another loan from you guys. And they'd be like, cool, works out.
Yep. And that's so I do agree with Trump that it's political, but at the same time, as I stated earlier, it's not unique to Trump. I mean, everybody's saying Barack Obama was born in Kenya. That wouldn't have came out if he didn't run for president. Same thing with Hillary Clinton. Notice that now she's not running for president. Nobody's suggesting that she should be locked up. It virtually never comes up anymore. But when she was running for president, they were always saying she should go to jail. Running for president has its consequences. I mean, same thing with Joe Biden. Joe Biden's been in politics since he was 29. All of a sudden, he becomes president, and suddenly he's abusing kids and all kinds of stuff. Trump doesn't like what Trump was doing to other people himself. He was doing that stuff. It's just part of the job.
Yeah, and I do like the point you make regularly about crap, I just brain farted. Anyway, Tim, have a good day.
Anytime. Appreciate you coming through, Anima. Thank you. All right, looking in the comment section. Hey, by the way, folks, happy Friday to all of you folks. You know how the program is ran. Certainly on TikTok, smash that like button. Real close to 100,000 likes. A little short of about 1,000 participants, so I do appreciate that. Smash that like button. Go ahead and get your boy at 100,000. We're real damn close. The program is uncensored. It's MAGA friendly. Always is, always will be. Always has been, always will be. MAGA is the preferred guest on the program, but liberals are welcome as well. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody. Always has done it that way. We believe in free speech. We don't care if you agree or disagree with anyone. You have a right to speak, and we will always protect and observe that on the program in its entirety. So if that is what you enjoy, feel free to smash that like button on YouTube, a subscription if you will. We're here Monday through Friday, and certainly on TikTok. If this is what you enjoy, civilized dialogue from both sides of the aisle without any interference with free speech, feel free to follow the program. In the comments, shaking my damn head says, appreciate you, man. Thank you. Appreciate you as well. Thank you for the support. Trump will insult anyone in America, but dare not say anything bad about Putin. Wow. I can't speak ill of that. That does seem to be true. Trump does not say much Negative about Putin. Why is that? He does not speak ill of Putin. In fact, with Navalny's apparent execution earlier this week, Trump didn't condemn Russia for taking the guy's life. Trump stated, I'm being persecuted just like Navalny. He just compared himself to the guy. Why does he not speak ill of Putin? Not only does he not speak ill of Putin, he actually speaks quite favorably of him. Often refers to him as intelligent and things like that. Appreciate the TikTok cap, Tony. That could be a whole show because I don't get that myself. Looking in the comments, someone says fear. Now, Team Cawthorn, friend of the program, MAGA often suggests that it is Putin that is fearful of Trump. So they disagree with you. They think it's the other way around. Trump's not scared of Putin. Putin's scared of Trump. That's what they say. Trump suggests that if he was president, the Ukrainian Russia war would end within 24 hours. How many of you think that could happen? By way of yes or no in the comments. Do you think Trump could end the Russian-Ukrainian war within 24 hours? That's a quote. That's a quote. He could end it in 24 hours. Do you think he could do it by way of yes or no? This dude confuses me. Is he secretly a Trump supporter? J3. I get it all the time. All right, going back to the box. When you're a moderate, when you can see good and bad on both sides, it does confuse many listeners because we are in a tribal environment. If you're not on my side, you are a far right or left representative of the other side. So I've had viewers tell me you are either MAGA or you're a Democrat. We don't see anything else. So I get it. All right, going back to the box. Appreciate you folks that are tapping the screen. We'll keep it moving with Alita's life. Good afternoon, Alita. Happy Friday. Is Trump being victimized? Is the topic, but we're also asking. He said that didn't answer shit. No, there's your answer, J3. Alita, are you there? Okay.
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, I had to move it on. Alita, you sound like they're telling you need to wake up like an alarm clock or something's going off. They couldn't hear you more than the alarm clock. But we'll keep it going. I don't know if he's a Dom or if he's a sub, but his name is Sir. All right, so we'll go with that. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the program.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing good. We're asking that question. Is Trump being victimized?
I think he's being targeted, absolutely, and he's being politically persecuted for sure.
Why do you think that's happening?
So back to the previous guest you had asked, was it politically motivated? And I was in the comment section. Letitia James campaigned on charging Donald Trump, got elected, and then went and searched for something to charge. Found something that they could charge him with. That's absolutely political.
Let me respond to that. And real quick, before I do, I wanted to thank some of those folks on YouTube for the super chat. Vincent, but I cannot pronounce your name, but thank you out of California. And thanks for what you do, Brother Tim. No, he can't stop anything in 24 hours. If that's the case, he can learn to shut up in 24 hours. Wow. Now, in regards to what my Big Rooster show, thank you, by the way, for that super chat. In regards to what he's suggesting, Big Rooster, sir, he's saying that maybe Trump's persecution that you're alluding to might have something to do with he's running his mouth all the time. Do you think Trump, being such a boisterous bomb thrower, may have anything to do with the persecution you're talking about?
Yes, I do, but that doesn't mean that him running his mouth is a bad thing. See, him running his mouth and why people have been drawn to Donald Trump in the first place is because he was an outsider from the mainstream media, no matter what side you were politically. And if we all recall, Republicans didn't like Donald Trump either. But once they figured out that he was going to win, then they had to get in line.
Yeah, but so you're okay if I go to court, because I see someone in the comments also in cap says, isn't running your mouth legal? Yeah, but there's consequences to it. If I go to court, you're okay with me tweeting out the clerk's address, talking about the judge's wife? You think I should be able to do that?
I don't know, and I'm sorry I didn't see that. I don't think that's appropriate, nor do I think people showing up to Supreme Court Justice's house because they don't agree with how they interpret the Constitution correct either. It all depends on who's telling us what happened. You know what I mean? Like what channel we're watching. I mean, I love that you're a moderate, and like quite frankly, you're the best. You're the best live on here.
Damn.
Because of the way you sit and do things. The only charge or the only indictment that I don't think was political was the documents case. I think that's hypocritical. But the totality of the 91 charges, it's all political. And
So wait, let's go through a few of them, because the next one is coming up later next month. Paying off Stormy Daniels with campaign contributions. Do you think that that's a witch hunt? You think that should just be if they can actually show that the money that she received, they wanted her to enter a confidentiality agreement or whatever, and they paid her. If they can actually show through paperwork that money came from campaign contributions, should he be let go with that? Do you think they should not charge him?
I don't. I wish I knew more about the case. I see. If it's wrong to use campaign contributions or campaign funds to do things like that, absolutely, you should be in trouble for that.
Okay.
However, what I'm saying is like the reason of the 91 charges is it doesn't have to do with the court of law. It has to do with the court of public opinion. That's why salacious headlines outside of Trump, outside of Biden, salacious headlines. Everybody wants to be first with the news, right? It makes the front page. And where does the retraction go?
Yeah, but don't you, based on what you're saying, is it safe to say that you also believe Hunter Biden is being politically prosecuted? I mean, if Joe Biden was not president, you think they would be going gung-ho after Hunter Biden like that?
No, I don't think. I don't think it would be the same. I think everything changed when they actually did use the DOJ against Donald Trump, and I talked about this with other people back when Donald Trump and Hillary had their debate, and he said, if I'm elected president, you'll go to jail. Remember that? That was a big soundbite. But what happened when he was elected? They did not prosecute her.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have said it, though. I agree with you, sir, but you shouldn't even play around with weaponizing the justice system. It's not something you should joke about.
No, I agree, but my point is, and I equated it to, you have these, so we're about to get into the real heart of the campaign. We'll get into debates. There's going to be lots of mudslinging and political ads, and I correlated that to two UFC fighters that have to go out, or two boxers that have to go out and promote a fight and sell tickets. So they go at it and jab each other and say all these things and run all these ads. Then they go at it and have a slugfest for however many rounds, and at the end they shake hands and hug. So if you recall the primary before DeSantis and the other Republican primary candidates, before that, Trump was going hard. Then as soon as they dropped out, he was very, the words that he spoke about them after they left the race were highly complimentary.
Okay.
Let's go back to when he said the thing about you'd be in jail to Hillary, right? Should she have been prosecuted? Absolutely. Absolutely, the things that she did with what is it, 31,000 emails?
Then why didn't he do it? So he dropped the ball?
No, because there's a certain honor, just like I said about those fights. Like, you're not going to do that. It's just you can't do that. Now they've crossed the line to now where we are.
Wait, you see him on stage. Wait, you say a certain honor. Trump flew during the DNC convention when he was running against Hillary Clinton to embarrass Hillary Clinton. He flew all of Bill Clinton's sexual assault accusers out to the Democratic convention and gave them front row seats. You see what he was doing is honorable?
No, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Do you remember when Conor McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather, and they did live press conferences at Madison Square Garden?
Yeah.
He's out there calling him every name under the sun. The whole thing was to sell tickets. So putting Bill Clinton's alleged SA victims in the front row is all part of the promotion.
No, you gotta. But wait a minute, sir, and I'll let you continue. But there has to be a line, even if you're just doing it to win, or you're doing it to win a fight, like you mentioned with Conor McGregor. You can't get up there and say Floyd Mayweather's kids are being sexually assaulted by him. I mean, there has to be a line. You're flying women that actually stated they were assaulted sexually out to stand in front of the man's wife. You don't get
I'm
to
not
shake
saying-
hands after doing that.
I'm not condoning that or saying
Okay.
it was the honorable part.
Yeah, that's awful.
I'm talking about post-election. Could he have then put all of the weight of the U.S. government on investigating her, prosecuting her, sending her to jail, just like they're trying to do to him?
No, but and I get your point, but the reason why I said that is because you stated that he didn't go after her because he wanted to do the honorable thing, and it was just during the political season that he did that. You don't play games with sexual assault victims to make a point. He already don't cross the line whether he go after Hillary Clinton or not. I mean, when you start doing stuff like that, you're already over the line.
No, I don't disagree with any of that. All of it's theater, and I wish we could get. It's hard to know what's true and what's not. I think I'd be hard pressed to really take anybody's words. He's charged with 91 charges. You don't think that's over? Like, come on. And it's absolutely political. They've been trying to get rid of him since the day he walked down since he came down the escalator.
Well, do you think Trump was just a good potential leader that was going to do the best for this country, and they just attacked him for no reason? Or do you think there may be some legitimate reasons why they attacked him? Gomez, thank you very much. Once again, appreciate that. Go ahead.
I think he was a. And it's hard to use this word in the light that I'm going to use it, but I think he was a cancer to their organism. He was an outsider from the beginning, and that's why I or other people really started paying attention. And that's why I said in the beginning there was Republicans that didn't want him either. There were never Trumpers that were Republicans. So he was always an interruption to the system. And I don't know if it's true. I have to look it up, but you may or may not have heard he's the only U.S. president that isn't in that family tree. They're all connected at some point.
Yeah, I have to look at. I've heard that. I can't speak to that, but I do have to move it on. But I will say this in regards to Trump being an outsider and wanting to fix the system. Had he done that without all the personal insults, Barack Obama was born in Kenya and Ted Cruz's dad killed President Kennedy and shit, I think he could have made it happen.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that, and we'll see what happens from here on out. But you made my day and my weekend being a part of your show. I appreciate you.
And absolutely a pleasure. The thoughts are exactly the same over here. My sentiments exactly. Appreciate it, sir. Always welcome back. Thank you. Dina Clark, thank you. Thank you for that. I did see that. That did not go unnoticed. I absolutely appreciate that. Certainly appreciate the 112,000 likes you guys are tapping the screen, making my weekend. Thank you. And certainly on YouTube, enjoying the uncensored format that we do here every day. Appreciate you folks that are smashing that like button. Not as many folks smashing the like button on YouTube, but do appreciate those that are, and certainly those who would like to drop a subscription. Always welcome. What would happen if someone slapped your head? I will say this. Somebody slapped. I get all kinds of crazy shit on YouTube, even though the audience is about 1/10 of what it is on TikTok. I get some really wild comments on there. 100% USDA organic. I mean, somebody's talking about hand-raised snake. All right, let me look in the comments. What thing that Trump did the media not mention to not cross the line? I don't quite get that comment, David Pearson, but I was suggesting that he brought Bill Clinton's sexual assault accusers to the Democratic National Convention, purchased them a seat in the front row so that they could stare at Hillary Clinton when she was running for president. That's crossing the line. If a woman's husband is accused of SA, the wife ain't got nothing to do with that. So why, when the wife is running for president, would you fly those folks out that are alleging that they were victimized and sit them in the front row and have them stare at the wife? That's crossing the line. I understand you can do a lot of harsh things politically and shake hands after it's over with, but if that ain't crossing the line, I don't know what the hell else is. You're using what could be rape victims to make a point. I mean, at some point, I do believe some things are crossing the line. Now, I know, and somebody said, who did that? Trump did that. Trump did that. When Hillary Clinton was running, he flew Bill Clinton's sexual assault accusers out to the DNC where Hillary Clinton was going to give a speech, purchased front row seats, and had them sit there and stare at her. How is that playing politics? That's crossing the line. Now, I know my beloved MAGA would disagree with me on this one, but I also believe sending those immigrants to Chicago and New York in the middle of winter without any gear is also wrong in terms of playing politics. I understand that Governor Greg Abbott wants to draw attention to the problem he's dealing with in in Texas, but sending them without coats to a winter climate, it's a sanctuary city. They'll look out for you when you get there, because I don't give a damn what happens to you. Just trust it. No, that's, to me, inhumane. I think there has to be a line in politics, and I do believe what Governor Greg Abbott doing in Texas is crossing it. Certainly when it gets to the point where not only am I going to send them up north with no clothing on in the middle of winter, I am not even going to tell the mayor where I'm dropping them off at. And the mayor's asking me, could you tell me where you're driving them off so I can at least meet them with supply? No, I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to drop them off in the middle of winter with nothing on, and you figure it out. Find out where they're at. That's inhumane. That's inhumane. So I do believe you can actually cross the line. Now, seeing the comments, folks are saying, so go buy them coats, says Bam Bam. Yeah, go buy them coats, fine. But that would be like me dropping my kid off on your porch at 2 a.m. with no clothing on in the middle of winter. And when you bitch about it and say what I did was wrong, well, go buy him a coat then. Go buy him a coat. I mean, is that not crossing the line of anyone? Going back to the box, appreciate those that are tapping the screen. Appreciate the smashing of the like button on YouTube. We'll continue it on, as always, with Mr. What did I say, Mr. Bojangles, or something I just hit? Hold on. Preaching makes sense. Thank you. That's what we do here sometimes. But they love God. Yeah, that's a good point to make. You're saved. You're an evangelical. You're Christian, but you're okay with doing that? In the argument of what would Jesus do you think he'd agree with what Governor Abbott is doing? I get that you want to secure the border. I'm not going to absolve Biden of what's going on at the border. But do you think God would support what Governor Greg Abbott is doing? Really? Looking in the comments. They're always worried about the children unless they're from South Africa or anywhere else. Yikes, I smell a hint of racism being alluded to in the comment section. I got the box going, but my guess is coming up slow. So we'll give it a second. Until then, we'll read the comments. They are okay with Orange Jesus. Who is Orange Jesus? I think I know. They're okay with Orange Jesus, S.A., sexual assault, and talking how he talks because they are hypocrites. Q. Finney. Yikes. God, country, law, and order. No, God would not, and God's not even a real great empathizer. They're okay, going back to the box. I don't know what's happening with the box, but we'll try it one more time here. Frank Nitty, good afternoon, welcome to the program. Frank, good afternoon.
I'm gonna turn my TV down.
Okay.
This is my first time with. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir. So what do you think? Are they weaponizing the system against Trump?
Well, hell no. Hell no. Trump is weaponizing the system against his damn self.
335 million? You don't see that as excessive? Whatever you got on in the background, turn it down because I hear myself.
Okay, let me get y'all Bluetooth. Hold on.
This is not okay. There's got to be a line, and I think.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Okay.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
All right, we're here now.
All right. Let me see. You got. Okay. It sounds like it's fixed. Okay. So 335 million. You don't think that's excessive?
Nah.
Really? Not even giving a man. Okay, let me follow it up, and I'll let you continue. Not even giving a man 30 days. He asking, I get 30 days before you start enforcing a whopping sum of $335 million. They wouldn't even give him 30 days to wait. You don't think that's wrong?
This man brag about how much money he got. if you sit there bragging about how much money you got, come up with it.
Damn.
Show facts.
No mercy, huh?
No, I mean they ain't gonna do it to me.
Well,
They gonna give me something that I can't even. If I'm 100,000 there, they gonna give me $1 million there.
you don't see it as excessive. Folks are suggesting little to no victims. This ain't Madoff. This ain't Enron. Very little victims. 335 million. You don't see it as excessive at all? Excessive?
Man, this dude brag about how much money he got, cag his ass.
But if I brag about how much money I got, let's say I go through a school zone and I'm reckless. I do 100 miles an hour through a school zone, so they can pretty much do whatever the hell they want. That might even be a felony for all I know. If I brag about how much money I got, you think the crime or the punishment, rather, you think the penalty should be based on how much I'm bragging about my money?
You a dummy?
But the system the system doesn't charge you based on how wealthy you are, does it?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Really?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Now I've been in the system. I ain't been in the system. I've been a correction officer.
Okay.
When I see somebody that came through that back door that was a superstar or something like that, they got charged more.
Wow.
Cause it ain't gonna hurt you. It's not gonna make you say, "Oh, okay, I can't do this no more."
335 million. You see it as jest.
He say he a billionaire. Shit, prove it.
What about what about the notion that they're only doing this because they don't want the man to be president again? They're just trying to take him down any way they can.
Joe Biden said it right. If you ain't black, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Don't no black person want this dude to see that.
But wait,
Get your ass out of here.
then you are admitting that they don't like Trump, so they're coming. I mean, are you admitting that it is an actual political witch hunt?
I am admitting that he's a fuckboy and he need to go. And he's bad for our nation.
Folks see Trump, $2 gas, good economy. We didn't have all these global conflicts. Do you really see Trump as a bad president? I mean, do you see the country being ran better under Biden than under Trump?
Come on, Hansel.
I gotta ask.
Now,
you know how the program goes.
You bringing baby facts to me now. Don't make me start pulling up some. I start pulling up some tickets.
But wait a minute. In your process of pulling up facts, the Israeli-Hamas-Palestinian conflict did not go on under Trump. The Russia-Ukrainian conflict did not go on under Trump. China was not threatening Taiwan as much under Trump. Kim Jong-un had calmed down under Trump. I mean, you don't see any benefit at all from Trump? You think he was that bad?
Do you see how Trump lips look when he talking? He look like he's smooching everybody do.
What does that have to do with running the country, though?
He's smooching everybody do. I mean, he kissing everybody booty just to get stuff done. That's not right, man.
I'm hearing a little bird told me Trump did more for blacks than anybody else. What say you?
Well, he told you a goddamn Trump ain't did shit for me. He did shit for me. I've been living the same way for the last, I guarantee you the last 25 years. I've been living the same. Shit, if I go to work, I make money.
Look, but what about the gas you pay to get to?
Man, the gas been going up and down for 25 years. I've been living. I've been surviving.
Okay. Inflation?
I mean, this,
the price you pay for groceries, you don't give them no credit for that at all?
No, my grocery price has been going up and down for 25 years. I promise you that. I mean, I suck it up.
How about the notion that the NATO member states, the countries that are in NATO, have now increased their defense spending because of President Trump? Is that not a good thing?
I think the crazy thing about NATO is them folks came over here. No, they didn't come over here. When the stuff happened on the in New York, they didn't hesitate to jump on our side. How could you? I mean, if I got a friend that I get in a fight with, and they jump on my team and they help me fight, how the hell I'm gonna drop my? How I'm gonna tell them no? I ain't finna fight with you no more.
Yeah, he did. He did. I get your point. So let me make sure I sum this up. Let me just get clarity. Trump was in office for 4 years. Is it safe to assume you don't see anything beneficial to America coming out of his entire presidency at all?
Hell no.
Wow.
We with Russia now.
So 4 more years of Trump, what do you see? Let me just ask, because at the end of the day, there is a real possibility we could have Trump win in November. 4 more years of Trump, what do you see? How do you see America? What do you see becoming of America if he's reelected? Because that could actually happen.
Man, I'm moving to Guyana. I'm moving to
Guyana? Did you wait?
I'm gone. I'm gone, bro. I leave in a heartbeat. I'm over saving me a plane ticket up.
You wait a minute. You believe that a second presidency of Trump is so bad that you'd prefer to be in Zimbabwe or Guyana? Is that what you just said?
On my mama dead and gone. On my mama who is dead and gone.
Wow.
I will leave the United States. I'm gone. I can't deal with that fool.
And no chance you'd rather go to the UK or Guyana, Zimbabwe.
But I'd rather be with my people.
All right, fair enough. I got to move it on, Frank. You drive a hard bargain, man. You drive a hard bargain.
I'm just telling you the truth.
All right, fair enough. Appreciate you coming through. By the way, folks, certainly tap that screen. 123,000 likes. Still nearly 950 of you in here or something like that. Maybe a little bit more. Appreciate that. You could be anywhere you want to be. Always a pleasure having you here with me on this Friday. Happy Friday to all of you folks. Certainly on YouTube, this dude going to the local food bank. Damn, Gen X. Gen X don't play around. By the way, certainly on YouTube, this is how we run the program. It is unscripted for certain, but we absolutely protect free speech no matter where it comes from, whatever side of the aisle you may be on. If you disagree with somebody in the comment section or even yours truly, no one gives a damn. It is an uncensored free speech format. That's how the program's been ran from the beginning, and that's how it will always be ran. Looking in the comments, Trump will sell Ukraine to Russia, let him take over all viewer up, and they will start a new world order. Wow. Now, I don't know if I can totally buy into all of that, but I do think, and I believe it's President Volodymyr Zelensky would agree with me, president of the Ukraine, that if Trump is reelected, his future is far more dim than if we get a second coming of Biden. If President Trump is reelected, the Ukraine is going to go to shit. There's no denying that. Because Trump and most of Trump's supporters have no love for the Ukraine at all. Many folks believe that either the Ukraine is incredibly corrupt and needs to be overran, or they believe it's part of Russia and they're simply claiming their own territory back. So there's no love for the survival of the Ukraine if Trump is reelected. So I don't think there's anyone else on earth that has a bigger stake in the November election than the Ukraine. Even as a citizen, regardless of how you feel about the economy under Trump or Biden, gas prices or whatever else, the Ukrainians have more to lose than anyone else on earth in our next election. No one stands to lose or gain more than they do. Because if Trump is reelected and he completely bans any assistance from the United States, that country's over with. That country is literally over with. Now, I think Trump's stance on Israel is certainly stronger than it is on Ukraine, but because he obviously was meeting with Can't even think the guy's name now. Not Ahmadinejad, but Netanyahu. He was meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu several times. He even moved the embassy to Jerusalem. So he was somewhat pro-Israel. But MAGA, his supporters often talk about bringing all the money home and not helping out anyone. So just like we mentioned with the Ukraine, if we stop helping the Ukraine, it's over with. Russia's going to overrun that country. If we stop helping Israel, they too will cease to exist. They don't have enough capabilities to take on the whole of the Middle East. They can maybe deal with one country here, like they can potentially deal with the faction of Hamas, the Houthis perhaps, maybe a few rockets coming from Yemen. But without the assistance of the United States, Iran's going to jump in it to a greater level. Whatever's left of Iraq may jump into it to a greater level. They beat Egypt in the 70s. They would likely jump in it to a greater level. Most of Europe, they would probably lose any friends in Jordan. That country would likely cease to exist. We're talking about Israel. If Trump decides that the United States is no longer going to help Israel, they would be in grave danger as well. So that's two nations. Now, we talk about under Trump, we didn't have a lot of global conflicts. I think there would be this time, with him promising to potentially disband NATO, or at the very least get very strict on NATO member states and not help the Ukraine or Israel. You would probably have those conflicts, because that would be the time, if I'm Putin, let's just get this over with. We got the perfect moment. He's withdrew all assistance to the Ukrainians. They already are war weary. This is the time to finish them off. And certainly in the Middle East, they're always waiting to get access to Israel. That would be the time to do it. Look it in the comments. Fix home first. Also, don't stick your nose out in bullshit. You might get something that will hurt a lot of others, meaning U.S. innocent people, says Patrick Lee. Fix home first. That's make America great, America first, things like that. I'll go back to the box. Well, let me give my typical spiel on that. There's no evidence at all in American history that we're interested in fixing America first. You can go back before we were helping the Ukraine. I mean, that just started 2 years ago this February. Were just attacked by Russia in February. So before the Ukrainians were being attacked, there was plenty of money in America. Was it going to fix America? Was it really helping out the bottom folks? Same thing with the Ukraine, or same thing with Israel. If the money came back, I ask this question on every single program when this comes up. Imagine Israel, or better yet, imagine the Ukrainians were able to successfully push back the Russians to the point where the Ukraine became a sovereign nation again, got their system back functioning, could then successfully implement their export-import market, started making money, functioning as a normal country, and they gave all of the money back to America. The Ukrainians gave all of our money back. Do you think your life would change at all? Do you think your life would change one bit if we got all of that money back? Point I'm trying to make is, regardless if we're giving the money out or not, your life, there's no history in America for us trying to fix our own problems. When Obama was president, we weren't sending money to the Ukraine. We still didn't want to give folks universal health care. That would have overwhelmingly helped every American out. Most Americans would benefit from a socialized healthcare system, because in this current environment, there's no loyalty in the workplace. A lot of folks see themselves unemployed, at least for a temporary period of time. You don't work 30 years at the same place as much anymore. That used to happen. You get out of high school, work somewhere till you retired, they gave you a pension. That don't happen. People switch jobs. When you're in between jobs, because you got health care from your job, you got the option of COBRA. COBRA costs a hell of a lot more at a time when you don't have any income coming in. Universal health care would actually fill in that gap. There was no love for universal health care from the right at all. So the idea that you should fix things in America first, I don't see it. You name the social program, food stamps, welfare, you name it, any social program that would predominantly help out Americans, a large portion of this country is against it. Hell, even minimum wage increase. How many Americans are against that? So the idea we need to take care of Americans first, there's no history of that. We've never done it. I don't buy it. Going back to the box, tap the screen, appreciate it. Did you say cow? Good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Hey, I just wanted to ask a question about the topics on, you were talking about grocery prices and gas prices. The corporations are benefiting from gas prices, and there's no, I don't know why we blame our presidents for these price increases.
I can answer that. I'll let you continue, but I'll tell you right off the bat. When you talk about gas prices, a lot of folks listen, it's OPEC, it's, other countries getting involved. It's not the president's fault. You often hear that, but you only hear that when the president or his supporters are dealing with a market where gas prices are not favorable to that president. Like in Biden's case, when he became president and gas prices shot up, everybody was saying, well, it's not the president's fault. The moment gas prices started going down, guess who started taking credit for it? Biden and Kamala Harris. So, yeah, so you can't tell me you're not responsible, but then when it go down, suddenly you're starting to take credit for it. That's how it works.
That's just politics. So
yeah.
I get that, but my point is that if we just stand back and look at it, these corporations, they don't lower their prices after, shipping costs go down and all these other things happen. No, these corporations are the ones benefiting. We blame the presidents for these problems that we have that we could control. If we stop paying for this stuff, that they're putting stuff in boxes that are half the size it used to be, and we still paying the same price. It's not the president's fault. I don't blame Biden or Trump. I don't blame either one of them for this stuff.
Well, what about the drilling, the pipeline? I mean, you don't think the president can make any decisions at all that control gas prices?
Yeah, I think he can make some, but I think in largely, like now the gas prices are down. No, nobody's, like you said, nobody's complaining now. Nobody's giving Biden credit. It's all politics. And like the guy before me said, we don't see any of this stuff. We are at the bottom, just swimming around in barrels. Are we affected? Yeah. But for the most part, we're going to do the same thing we was doing before. And just like you just said, if they sent all that money back, we ain't going to see a bit of it. They've been helping Japan. They've been helping Vietnam. Yep. We have been sending money to countries since this country probably began. So
I don't disagree with that. And that's why I said that. And by the way, on YouTube, Ali, thank you for the sub. See you typing it over and over again. Thank you for that. So at the end of the day, who do you see? 4 years of Trump we've almost had 4 years of Biden at this point, shy of about 8 months. Who do you see running the country better between those two?
You know what, honestly, what I want is, I wouldn't mind Trump getting in so we could get past Trump. Because if he don't get in this year, he may try to run again. I just want his 8 years to be over so I don't ever have to see him give another speech, give another, make some smart comments, be ignorant. I like a president that's presidential. And I'm not saying he's a bad president because he's ignorant or because he says stupid stuff. That's not the point. But I just need a president to be presidential. And
so So you don't buy into the suggestion that he's a threat to democracy if he gets reelected?
Yes, I do, but I think he's more of a threat by running for office. I think get him in, let him do what he gonna do. He got 4 years. We ain't gonna see no changes before 2 years anyway. Let him get in and do what he gonna do.
But wait a minute. If you believe, hold on a second.
To the country.
But if you believe he's a threat to democracy, and you give him the nation's highest office, wouldn't that be beneficial to him implementing his actual threat?
Yeah, but it's gonna be short term. He's not gonna be able to do much because Congress. He's not gonna have both the House and the Senate. He's not gonna be able to do as much as he would want to do, and he's just gonna have 4 years. Okay. Let's just and he's not gonna go away. If he don't win this time, he probably will run again in 4 more years, and then we got to go through this stuff all over again.
So you think he'll run again in 2028 when he'll be like, he'll be Biden's age. He'll be Biden's age.
I think he will.
Wow.
I think he will. He gonna keep raising this money. he gonna keep going. He ain't gonna stop.
Okay. I mean, at the end of the day, though, do you think he would be a decent president? I mean, how did you like his 4 years in office?
I don't. Here's the thing. I don't think he's a horrible person or a bad president. I think he is. I think he is a very. He's a businessman that has done a lot of unscrupulous things, and it's coming to light. People could say they can look at it or not and say that man lied to get that money. He lied to get that money. Of course, nobody got hurt, but he lied to get that money. It's illegal. Why are we giving him a pass? That's what I'm saying.
Well, as opposed to suggesting a pass or in regards to holding him accountable, do you think $335 million is excessive?
I think it suits the crime for the amount of money that he benefited on to get those properties by lying. To make him pay it in 30 days, that may be a little steep, but if it's the crime, I don't know the amount of money that he benefited from lying, but I think it was more than 380 million.
I don't know about that.
That's why.
Yeah, I don't know how much he benefited by telling the lies, but that's a big.
When you're lying about having these types of properties and they're worth this amount of money, and I'm not saying that to do that, but and I don't think it's true that you can say, well, I got money, so I'm that's not how the system works. But I think in this case, for what he did, I think it sits.
Wow. Last question before I move on. In your opinion, because you're talking about Trump, you mentioned possibly a threat to democracy, but you think he just do 4 years. What's your definition? What do you think happened on January 6th?
I think President Trump hyped those people up. I think that he didn't. I don't think he literally sent them there, but I think he guided them there.
When you say sent them there, what do you mean? Where is there?
I think his speech sent them to the Capitol.
Well, he said march to the Capitol building. He said it in quotes.
Yes. Yeah, I think did he tell them to go do what they did?
No.
But he sent his supporters, which are some of the most, out of control supporters to me, he sent them there. So when you send people somewhere, you got to take responsibility for what they did. They are your supporters. He didn't go with them. He didn't stop them immediately. I think he sent them there.
So do you think he is responsible for what happened there that day?
Yes, I think he is directly responsible for what happened.
But you do think he should be? But you do think it's okay to let him be president again?
You know what? It's so hard for me to say no, because and this is probably a stupid argument. I just want the man to go away. And I don't.
That ain't gonna do it though. But that's not gonna.
So?
No, did you say no? You ain't gonna make me go away by giving me the nation's highest office. I'm gonna make changes to your whether it's appointing more Supreme Court justices, lower court justices, changing laws. I'm gonna change your country in ways I think that are right. That's not making me go away. That's giving me time to do things that are gonna affect even your kids.
In a perfect world, I would see the man lose and do some time.
Wow.
And just go away. In a perfect world. Mm-hmm. But in this world that we live in, if he loses, I just see him he's just going to maybe run again. I just don't see anybody coming up to take him down. He's going to stay in the limelight. And I just want to see him go away. I've been so happy to not hear what my president is doing on a daily basis. Biden falling around and making mistakes in his speech, I can live with that.
Well, some might suggest you don't hear what Biden's doing on a daily basis because he's not doing much. He's sleeping. That's what a lot of folks say. So
I don't believe that.
All right. I do got to move it on. I appreciate you coming on, though.
I appreciate it.
Absolute. Looking in the comment section, real quick, the dude has lost his way. He's destroying 100%. Wow. He only is going to serve 4 years and then he's gone. He can't do anything unless Congress is passing. Well, let me just say this. I'm not saying it's to bash Trump or defend Trump. If he is suggesting that everybody in D.C. is the swamp, and a lot of MAGA believes this, and he's going to replace them with folks that are not swamp creatures, then they're all going to be loyal to him. Wouldn't that happen that way? So you say, well, he's only going to be around for 4 years. He can't do anything unless Congress is passing. Well, Congress is going to be incredibly friendly to Trump because he's talking about getting rid of all the ones that are there now. He's going to put in loyalists. I'm not saying he may abuse it. I'm just simply saying he could. If everybody serving is friendly to you, that does give you a lot of power. So think of it that way. Looking in the comments real quick, Trump hired the most swamp rats. Yikes. According to Trump, according to MAGA, he did hire a lot of swamp creatures. Ambassador Bowden, Attorney General Barr, Nikki Haley. These are people that Trump gave a job to. Scaramucci, Spicer. I mean, people that he gave a job to, and now he's suggesting that they're swamp creatures. So you say he hired them. I gotta say that may be true. I don't think that George Bush or Barack Obama or even Biden, folks that left their administration, I don't think they ever suggested that those folks were bad for America or swamp creatures. Trump has said that for a lot of folks that he hired and he gave jobs to, which leads to another issue in regards to a lot of folks believe the Supreme Court will save Trump on some of these cases. We often talk about the danger that Trump faces because he run his mouth. Fact is, he has insulted so many people, we don't know how much of that's going to come back to bite him. He said some pretty choice words about the Supreme Court, too. When they didn't side with him, that the election should be held up because he thought it was stolen, he referred to them as cowards. I mean, he's just like asking, can I get 30 days of leeway before you begin enforcement on a $335 million judgment? It seems fairly reasonable to ask for a month. That seems ridiculous. You wouldn't get a guy a month. But this is what I'm talking about. When you're constantly attacking people, you don't have a lot of favors to ask for. I mean, Trump says they were after me from day one. We get it. He was after the judge from day one. In every one of his cases, the judge has been attacked. How do you get a fair ruling by doing that? And when it comes to filing, like in this case, can you give me 30 days? You don't get much leeway in that at all. So that does have some effect. Now, if you support Trump, you don't care what he says about other people. You only care what people say about him. But in a court, that doesn't work very well. So Trump could find problems with appeals and other things he files in court, other things he files in court, because he is so hard on the judges who have the job to grant it or not. You just can't insult everybody. I understand MAGA supports it, but listen, I support free speech. I make it clear I do on every program, but there are consequences. And that's the problem is Trump and his supporters believe he should have free speech. That's fine. They don't believe he should have consequences. And I think that's where the problem will always be. Just like as long as he's running the country well, doing what it takes to keep this country on course, he should be able to say whatever the hell he wants, insult anybody he wants. Shouldn't be any consequence to it. I don't think that's reality. I just don't. I mean, these folks have reached the pinnacle of their lives. Governors, senators, Congress, generals. They're not president, but they're not going to stand by while folks insult them. And at the end of the day, if you do it, you're going to be complaining that they were after you from day one. Appreciate the 130,000. It's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. See you guys later. For my YouTubers, looking real quick in the comments, seems like mainstream media can get away with defamation. He can't clap back. Well, everybody gets away with defamation if nobody goes after them. The Dominion voting machines went after Fox, for instance. I mean, some people go at them, some people don't. So you can get away with it to some degree. Thank you, Case, for the nice show again. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.